A tragic, awful day for the people of Baton Rouge.
Shot fired, officer down! Shot fired, officer down!
This has happened far too often.
We don't want no more bloodshed!
There simply is no place for more violence. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us.
Baton Rouge is in need of those prayers right now.
Right now, 3 Baton Rouge law enforcement officers are dead, another 3 injured, with 1 fighting for his life tonight. Good evening, I'm Chelsea Washington. Here's a timeline of how the events unfolded on the streets of Baton Rouge this morning. It seems many of the fatalities took place in just about an 8-minute time period. At 8:40, a report of a man with a gun was called in. At 8:42, shots were fired. At 8:44, reports of officers down. At 8:45, more gunshots. At 8:46, the suspect is spotted dressed in all black. At 8:48, EMS crews arrive and the suspect is shot and killed. Tonight, as the nation mourns the loss of even more officers, the president condemning the latest attack. Fox News correspondent Will Carr has the very latest.
President Obama reacting to another fatal police shooting.
We as a nation have to be loud and clear that nothing justifies violence against law enforcement. Attacks on police are an attack on all of us and the rule of law.
The incident happening less than a mile from Baton Rouge Police Headquarters. Cell phone video showing the response, scanner traffic revealing the chaos on the scene.
Shot fired, officer down! Shot fired, officer down! Got a city officer down! Shot fired! Shot fired on the airline! I know where the subject shooting from.
Authorities say the lone gunman was shot and killed on location.
We believe the person that shot and killed our officers, that he is a person that was shot and killed at the scene. So that's what we know right now. We do not believe or do we have any other shooter held up in any other area.
The suspect identified as Gavin Eugene Long, carrying out the shooting today, July 17th, on his 29th birthday. Tensions have been high following police-involved shooting deaths in Louisiana and Minnesota and the killing of 5 police officers by a gunman in Dallas. The incident coming just a week after President Obama attended a memorial to remember those officers. Authorities say at this point it's unclear what motivated Long to shoot the officers. They were all in their 30s and their 40s. They were all married and all had families. Another is fighting for his life tonight in Baton Rouge. In Louisiana, Will Carr, Fox News.
In the last 30 minutes, we found out the name of the last victim in today's deadly ambush in Louisiana, 45-year-old Sheriff's Deputy Brad Garafola. Just before that, a person familiar with the investigation identified another one of the officers killed as 41-year-old Matthew Gerald, according to the Associated Press. And earlier tonight, Louisiana State Representative Ted James identified another one of the police officers as 32-year-old Montrell Jackson. Tonight, the law enforcement community is reeling after 2 deadly shootings of police officers within 10 days. Fox 25's Kylan Mills spoke with the Oklahoma County Sheriff about his department's safety and what positive he says he's seen in the wake of tragedy. Kylan?
Chelsea, a very scary and difficult time for law enforcement across the country, including those deputies. Here at the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office, you can see the flags tonight flown at half staff. Sheriff John Wetzel tells me that he's encouraging all of his deputies to be on high alert, but he's also grateful for the outpouring of support from the people they serve.
A shockwave across the nation. 8 law enforcement officers gunned down and killed in 2 separate attacks within 10 days.
From a law enforcement perspective, it's just really horrific. From a citizen perspective, it's horrific. These are the men and women who protect our communities, and they're being ambushed.
Oklahoma County Sheriff John Wetzel says it's a trying time for the men and women in blue. While he says he'd like to believe something like that wouldn't happen here, his deputies' safety is a top priority.
We'll encourage our deputies to be vigilant. You know, it's not saying change the way you patrol. It's not saying change the way you interact with citizens. It's just saying be more vigilant. Be aware of all of your surroundings.
Well, Wetzel says law enforcement is a family and his department is mourning. There has been a ray of light during this dark time.
It's really spreading what citizens are doing to really keep law enforcement spirits up. And it's far more than we can do. because they see the outpouring of support from this community.
Thank you notes left on squad cars, cookies brought to the station, and restaurant tabs paid for. Wetzel says the acts of kindness keep on coming. He says they're thankful the community is here for them because even in the face of danger, officers will be there to protect you.
It's difficult until the next call for service comes in, and then you respond to that call.
Sheriff Wetzel says that his deputies will be wearing black bands onto their badges. They'll be putting them back on. Many departments do this in honor of fallen officers until their funerals are held. Last week they wore them in honor of the Dallas officers. This week they'll be worn in honor of those killed in Baton Rouge. Reporting live downtown, Kylan Mills, Fox 25 News.
As Kylan mentioned, we are told flags at the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office and their substations will remain at half-staff. As President Obama on Sunday condemned the violence in Baton Rouge, a former FBI agent told our new national news partner Circa that ambushes from future lone wolf attackers could continue unless strong action is taken.
What we're seeing really are lone wolf terrorists, much in the vein of the ISIS lone wolf terrorists. They are not directly affiliated with any group, but they listen to everything they say, and in their own compromised mental situation, they find a call to illegitimate and violent action. And those are lone wolf terrorists. And that's what we're experiencing against the police, lone wolf terrorists. And the difference is that ISIS applauds the actions of its lone wolf terrorists. And Black Lives Matter needs to continue to strongly decry what is being done in their name.
This is very much an ongoing investigation in Baton Rouge. Our sister station is just about a mile away from where the shooting took place. They have the latest on what's happening right now.
We are standing in the middle of a major roadway here in Baton Rouge where you can see over my shoulder the enormous amount of police activity. This is where it's believed the horrific shooting earlier this morning took place. The media has been pushed back almost a mile away as police continue to investigate this scene. Right now in Baton Rouge, it is like a ghost town filled with nothing but blue lights, which continue to grow as the police presence increases and more law enforcement officers make their way to this horrific crime scene. We just actually witnessed a convoy of armored vehicles make their way into the area. This all taking place during a tragic time for this Baton Rouge community who's seen the incident of Alton Sterling. They then watched the events of Dallas unravel, where several police officers were killed, and now officially some of their own police, as you know, coming out and saying this is not race related, but still this is attack against the community. Heartbroken is the way to describe, and police continue to remain out here and almost hold something like a military presence responding to this type of attack. In Baton Rouge, I'm Brian Carnaggio.
And as our sister station mentioned, Louisiana is still reeling from the death of Alton Sterling, one of Sterling's family members speaking out about today's shootings of the Baton Rouge officers.
We call for no justice, no peace. Now we have to grieve again, all over again, with the senseless murder that went on. That's how this all started, with bloodshed. We don't want no more bloodshed. So if you're not on accord with us, leave. Go home, go wherever you come from. This is our house.
Sterling, who was killed by officers earlier this month, was laid to rest Friday morning with thousands in attendance, including the Reverend Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. Of course, stay tuned to Fox 25 on air and online for the latest on the deadly ambush in Louisiana. Now is a good time to download the Fox 25 mobile app for up-to-the-minute alerts and coverage, and tune in to the Fox 25 Morning News for full continuing coverage starting at 5 a.m. We will also be following a press conference scheduled to reveal more details about the investigation tomorrow at 1 p.m. from Baton Rouge. Well, after a beautiful weekend, can we expect triple digits this weekend? Fox 25 meteorologist Kyle Roberts weighs in.
We didn't get there this weekend. This weekend actually pretty average when it comes to summertime heat, but I do think OKC will likely hit its first 100-degree day sometime this week. Not tomorrow, though, so you're going to have to come back for that 7-day forecast coming up here in just a little bit to find out when those triple digits will roll around in the metro. Other parts of Oklahoma for sure have seen 100 degrees, but not in the metro just yet. Do think it'll happen before the week is over. 81 outside right now. Pretty nice evening, and overnight tonight shouldn't be too bad either. By tomorrow morning, we'll actually start off at about 73 degrees. That's really not all that terrible. It's mild, but it's not really cool, but it really isn't on the too terribly warm side either, especially given the time of year. Not going to stay there very long. Tons of sun yet again tomorrow. 85 by 10 a.m., 90 by the lunch hour, 95 by tomorrow afternoon, which is about what we hit today. 94 by 5 o'clock, and then still staying in the 90s by the 7 o'clock time frame. So it'll be hot, it'll be breezy, and it will be plenty sunny tomorrow. That heat definitely will crank up. 95. We're going to be hotter than that as we head through the week. Summertime continues for you, but I do have our first 100-degree temperatures, I believe anyway, in store for the OKC Metro a little later on this week. I'll tell you when those arrive when I have that full 7-day coming up here in just a bit.
Coming up, what could have been a deadly situation ending peacefully tonight. Why a suspect took hostages in Baltimore. Plus, another security concern in the Metro tonight. One woman's fight to find the person or persons who hit her car in a mall parking lot. Kyle?
Rain and storm chances going down, and that heat is going up. What day this week will likely be the hottest? I'll have the complete forecast coming up.
We are less than 24 hours away from the Republican National Convention, how they're beefing up security in light of recent attacks across the country, and what one organization is asking for during the 3-day event. And up front at 9:30.
We do not know when this long nightmare will end.
As the law enforcement community asks for prayers, others demand action, what some say needs to happen next to prevent another tragedy like this one.